Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me at Kay Warner Studio. This video is video instruction for two things. One is this shadow box frame, which measures 5 by 7 or 3.5 by 5.5 for the interior measurements. This was decorated with Photoplay O Canada collection, both the pattern papers, the stamps, the dies, the die cuts, and then finally I cut the grass out of a different die. And then in order to give this to somebody or put away from year to year, because Canada Day is always on July the 1st, I made this box, and I wanted to give you the instructions for this as well. This has a stand which is attached to the back, so it can stand up as decor for the home or your cottage or camp on Canada Day. This is made out of craft, but I'm going to show you how to do it out of orange so that you can see the score lines better. So you need 2 pieces of 12 by 12 paper, a scoreboard, a score tool, a pair of scissors, sharp scissors, preferably with long blades and that come to a tip, so not a blunt end. And if you want to put a thumb place to show where to open it, as it is on this one, that was just a little circle die, and then I used the corner chomper to finish around these edges here. So one piece of paper is cut 12 by 12, 12 by 10, and the second piece of paper is cut 12 by 9 and 3/8. The smaller of the two is for the box. So the 12 by 10 we are going to use for the shadow box frame. The score marks are the same on all 4 corners, or all 4 sides, pardon me, and we're starting with 5/8. Mine jumped, but that should be okay. I can work it out on the other side. 1 1/4, 1 7/8, and that's the little line just before the 2, and 2 1/2. Now we're going to come back in on this long side and put 2 other score marks, but that'll be after we finish. Next is 5/8 again. So that's a little line behind after the half. 1 1/4, 1 7/8, and then we are at 2 1/2. Rotate 90 degrees, 5/8, 1 1/4, 1 7/8, and we are at 2 1/2. And finally, the 4th side, 5/8 of an inch, 1 1/4, 1 7/8, and finally 2 1/2. Now on both long sides of the 12-inch side, we're going to make 2 additional marks. So one is at 3 1/8, just down to the second score line here, and then over here, this is going to be at 8. No, I think this is wrong. So we are going to go up 5/8. So 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, it is. That's right. Was right. 8 and 7/8. Okay, down to the second score line. Rotate it 180 degrees, so we have the other side 12 inches up on the edge of the scoreboard, right up against the measurements. And we're going to repeat that. So we have 3 1/8 down to the second score line, and then finally over here 8 7/8 to the second score line, and then we stop. So your piece should look like this. Let's see if I can adjust the light. I'm going to remove my scoreboard, and we're going to bring it back to do the markings for the envelope. There we go. Okay, so I like to do my cutting before I do my burnishing. I find it easier. So let's, if you like to do it the other way, then please help yourself and do how you like to do it. Okay, so we're going to do the ends without these marks. So it will be the 10-inch marks on both sides. So we're just going to come right up here and cut to where the end is, or the beginning, however you want to look at it. So we're going to cut up 1 score line, 2 score lines, 3 score lines, and we're going to stop at the 4th score line on the very first score line. So those are your horizontal lines that I was counting. Okay, and we're going to stop. It's a little crooked, I'll fix that. It probably doesn't make a hill of beans either way, but I like to keep it straight. Okay, so now we're going to go over here. We're going to repeat the same thing. Gonna come right up to the last one and leave it there, just like that. So we're going to come rotate 180 degrees, so we're on the 10-inch side again, and we're going to repeat that process right up to that mark, and then finally over here do the same thing. So we've cut towards the center right up to the very last score mark, and we stop. So they should look like this, and then on the other side exactly the same way, just like that. Okay, now we're going to come on the sides where we have this short score marks, and that's where we're going to do our cut. So we're going to cut up, stop at the 2nd score line, right at the corner where the 2 meet, right there. And we're going to rotate the paper so we can cut from corner to corner, so where we stopped, right up to the 3rd score line. Okay, so we come up there, and then we stop, and then we slice it straight ahead. And in doing that, this corner will be removed. So that's what it should look like. I'm going to come on to the other side and do the same thing. Cut up and stop at the 2nd score line, horizontal score line. We're going to rotate the paper and cut from corner to corner up to the 3rd. And finally cut straight up to the 4th. And when we do that, that end will fall completely off. Now I've gone a little crooked here, so I'm going to straighten mine up. I'm going to remove that bulk from the score tool. Now we're going to come on the other side and do the same thing. Go right up to the 2nd line, rotate the paper, and cut from kitty corner, from corner to corner up to the 3rd, and then finally we're going to cut right up to the 4th, and that corner will come right off. If you pay attention to that you've cut to the corner so you're not off a little bit, this will fold better. So that's what I was fixing. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing again. Stop, rotate, cut from corner to corner. And the corners are where the score marks join, so it makes like a spot that identifies as the corner of something. So all of your cut pieces will have one of these diagonal cuts on it, just like that. Okay, so I have 4 of those. We remove the 4 corners. Now it is a good thing to burnish all of your lines. So we're going to fold over the mountain. So these are the mountains here. You can see that's what the score tool left. Sorry. give those a burnish. And keep them straight. Now we're going to work on these ends first, but before we do that, we're going to add score tape or double-sided adhesive, a nice strong one that's not going to lift away. So you need to add this right up against this score line on all 4 of these edges. Don't go over it, so fold it back so the flap is just like this, and apply that right to the edge. Now you could have wider tape here if you would like to. The width isn't really the issue, it's how strong the tape is the issue. Like you could use a red line tape that is thin, but it's very strong. So really a good quality tape like Score Tape or Be Creative tape, all of those are nice and strong. This happens to be a 3M tape. And you want to make sure it goes right to the edge. So right to the edge here and along the score line. Not over, but right up. Okay, so that's that. And then finally, we want to put adhesive here, just on the angles. Doesn't matter if it goes over the line or not. Oops. So as close to the edge as you can get it. And there we go. Okay, so now the first one that we're going to do, as I said, we're not going to work on the ones with these sides, we're going to work on this side first. So we're going to remove the backing off of our tape, and we are going to fold it up twice. So we have 1, 2, hold your fingers down on the corners here, let the tight fold, and just bring that right up and fold it over. Hold it straight so that it doesn't have any kinks or bends in it, and then that should butt right up against the inside so you don't have any gaps here. Okay, so we're going to rotate it 180 degrees and work on this side. Remove the backing, fold it up twice, exactly how we did the other one, bend it over and press. This one here is nice and tight up against the wall of the frame. Now we're going to work on this one. To do this, you're going to release the end that's farthest away, and you're going to fold that over because we're going to pull this dog ear out later. Okay, we're just going to pick that up, bend that again, and then fold this over and remove the backing off the longest piece. Now this time, instead of having two as we had here, we're only going to have one, but we're going to carry it up 2 lines. So we have 2 lines here, and we are going to fold. And if you have to bend these over, it's perfectly fine, and then press that down. Now we're going to bring this up. We're going to remove the backing, bend this down, pull this up, and then miter your corners on the inside. Don't worry so much about the outside. When you've got that nice and tight here, you press it down. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. And you may have to do a trial run with one of these first before everything comes together. Remove the backing. Same thing, bring it down, bring this up, bring it over, line up the corners here, and press. Now we are on to here. We're going to fold that over. The one that's farthest away from you, the edge, fold that over. And if it comes off, just push the release paper back on. You just don't want this part to engage too early. Remove the backing. Remember, this is a single row, but we're going to have 2 rows here. And then you just bring that down and press. Now, we're going to remove the backing, push this one over, push it in, line up these corners here so that you're happy with the inside corner, and press. We're going to remove the backing from this little one here. There we go. Bend that down, pull that one up, make sure the corners are lined up so it's suitable. Press that in. And there we have our shadow box frame complete. So you just decorate that however you wish. You can even put a photograph in there if you choose. So that's that. So now we're going to move on to the envelope so we can house this in when we're done. Now I have left a little extra room, so if you want to put an easel frame on the back, it'll fit perfect with that. Okay, so now we are on, as I said, so this is 9 3/8 by 12. Okay, so on the 12-inch side, we're going to do a little bit of scoring here. You're going to score at 5. Check my measurements here. I seem to have not written that down. Sorry about that. So it's 5 1/8. 5 1/8 with the smaller end. 5 1/8. 5 7/8. So there we have 5 1/8, 5 7/8, and then we're at 11. Oops. 11 and 11 3/4. And then we are going to come over to the shorter side. So this is 9 3/8. Our first one is 3/4. 7 7/8. 8 5/8. And that's it. here we go. So I kind of jumped the track there a little bit. So I am going to push that out a bit. It won't matter because I'm just doing this for your benefit, these boxes. I'm not going to use them, these anyway. Not that I know of anyway. So if that happens to you, that's all that you have to do, especially if you're going to decorate it. Okay, so now we are going to do a little bit of surgery here. So this is what we're looking for. This is my work copy. It's done with flimsy paper. So that looks like this. So we're going to, except it's upside down. So that's like that. So we are going to remove this corner here. This one here is going to come off. Okay, so we're going to cut up here and here and here and here. These are cut marks. Okay, and then over here on this side, these are going to be cut marks. Right here. But then all of this stuff here is gone. Okay? And then finally we come up to here and then we remove this one and this one and then we cut here. So that's going to come across like that and that should give us what we need. So now we have an idea of what we're doing. I'll take this away. So we just cut up here. I like to remove the bulk from the score tool on this, so I'm just going to cut up and take that out of there. Do the same thing here. Now over on my blog there are chances to win. Products. There's also percentage off, 10% off at scrapandstamp.ca. The code is HOP10. That's your coupon code. There are winners off of every blog. So all of the details are over on my channel. Sorry, over on my blog. So I'll leave the link below. Every blog that took part in the hop has prizes, so that's always good. That's a chance to win Photoplays die cuts. And there's I think there's a shopping spree as well. I'll put the link in the description, and if you want to see the projects that I made for this blog hop, they're on there too. These are two of them that I did, and I find it easier to show you how I made them rather than write all the lengthy description of how it's done. Oh, because I think this is easier than when you can see it. Okay, so this is the box. So hopefully yours resembles this. Okay, so I think we should burnish. Now, we are going to put a strip of really strong adhesive down here. And we're going to use some liquid adhesive down here for the bottom, and that's it. There's only two places to secure this. Okay, so let's burnish all of the score lines. So you would put it on just right here. So this is the wrong side, this is the right side. So your adhesive goes on the right side in this instance. Okay, so I'm going to get my corner rounder. There it goes. And I'm going to, so the place where you have the 2 score marks left, that's where you do round your corners. Figure out how to do it, I'll be all set. Not very good mechanically. I'll have to get another one out. So this is an EK Success. We'll use this one. And we're just going to round that there and there. I'll cut the circle out for your thumb at the end. Okay, so let's get at this. So I'm going to put my adhesive down there, and I'm going to use the same stuff as I did with my shadow box frame right up against the score mark. And you want to make sure it goes down the whole length. Now the easel that I attached to the back, that is from an Alterations die from Tim Holtz. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to see if I have a little tool out here that I can use. Nope, pardon my arm again. And we're going to take that back off, just like that. Now I find it easier, so you're going to fold it right over the second one here. And you're just going to match up the ends. Now some people like to do it this way, so, and sometimes I do when it depends on the material, and you can see that everything lines up wonderfully when you do that. And that's that. So, and because we know that this is going to fold in here like this, I think that I'm going to trim these down just a touch. So we can do that this way, and then on each side, just like that. Nothing too major. Okay, that's that one. And then this one here, we're just going to cut it in half and then trim a little bit so there's no bulk. There. There. And then here. There we go. Okay. So this is going to fold in here like this. So if we get our little 1/2-inch punch, and then just eyeball it halfway down, halfway in the center, and cut that out like that. And then on the bottom here, we know this is going to be here, so we want to fold the section that's on the same side as this away from us. So I'm going to put those flaps in. I'm going to fold that down. And on this end, I like to put a little bit of glue so that it'll take the weight of whatever you put in there. Just like that. Hold that like that. One over the other. Just hold it for a sec, lining up your edges. Let that hold. And there we go, it's perfect. The lid back on. And I will put my frame in here so that you can see it's all pushing out. Pardon the noise. And that fits right inside. So that's the one we just did. Now if I can find my one that's decorated that has the easel die on the back, I'll put this in here. And that fits as well. Perfect. and then you just decorate it as you want it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you find, excuse me, I hope that you find this helpful and that you're able to use it for something that you'd like to do. You could use this for Christmas decorations, birthday, and make names for kids' rooms, anything. That's just whatever your imagination allows you to do is the limit. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon. kwarnerstudio.com is where my blog is, where there are prizes to give away, and I will put the link in the description box or the Show More box below. Bye-bye.